Well, hello friends, family, YouTubers, viewers, our friends out there in YouTube land. How you guys doing today? Well, here it is, kind of early December. We're looking forward already to January and February being gone and March being here, and we start off on our spring tours in our 17B, and hoping you guys will come along with us. All right. This is almost a prologue or even a caveat about the video you're about to see. The idea was that we were going to do a 5-night trip over Thanksgiving and see what it's like to actually RV in a 17B in the wintertime when it's going to be below freezing perhaps. You know, the 17B, the Coleman17B is not known for, you know, all season type activities, maybe a little bit in the early fall and early spring or late spring or something like that. But we decided to go ahead and risk it and do this sort of thing with possible freezing weather. It was going to be quite the adventure. And I got to tell you, well, we had some surprises. We knew we were going to be learning some stuff, but things in some ways didn't go as planned. I was hoping to have a series of videos that were going to be maybe 3 different videos covering 3 different aspects about this trip. That's not going to happen. It's probably all going to be in this one video. It's going to be relatively short. But I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to start the video the way I planned on starting it, talking in the car about what we're going to be doing. But it doesn't really go that way. Things kind of change along the way. So be ready for that. And at the end, we're going to tell you some of the things we learned, some of the things that were unexpected about camping in the 17B when it's 30 degrees and things like that. So you might want to stick around and listen to that, as there's some things that we're going to have to fix and some changes we're going to have to make if we're going to be RVing when it's going to be extremely cold. This will also help when we're RVing when it's extremely hot. And we've already done that for a couple of summers. We've had it where it was 108 degrees, and that's just awful, you know. But the things I'm going to fix will even help that. So stick around and learn a little bit about where we went. The state park we went to was just amazing. We're going to touch on that, and I'll probably make a state park video about it by itself. But anyway, here's like a little caveat. I'm going to go ahead and start the video the way it was going to start, the way it was planned to start, and then we're just going to kind of go from there and probably get interrupted at times and things like that. And then we're going to talk about the lessons we learned there at the end. So stick around and enjoy this weird adventure we went on over Thanksgiving. Well, people talk about driving through New England in the fall. Well, the fall comes later down here in the South, and so here it is, almost end of November, and it's the fall, and it's just beautiful. Okay, but you're driving through pines instead of, you know, redwood type trees and things like that. But anyway, we're having a lot of fun so far doing this. We're using our brand new tow vehicle. We got rid of the Lincoln Navigator, although it served us quite well, and we bought us a new Dodge Ram 1500, which we're checking out. We're enjoying that quite a bit. We've only had one little overnighter basically in it so far. This is our big trip. But anyway, we're headed to Georgia, and we're going to be there till about the 1st of December. But we're hoping that we don't have some kind of weird freeze or something like that. We're prepared to empty and winterize the tanks if we need to, if it looks like it's going to. So we don't know. Now, this is probably going to end up being 3 episodes maybe, and we don't know. But we're going to have one getting there. We're going to stop off at a really weird state park. I say weird because it just doesn't look like it's going to be a state park. In Mississippi. We're going to do a video on this really interesting state park, I guess you could say. And then we're going to go on to Georgia, and then we're going to come back and probably stay at the same state park again, maybe even the same site. We don't know. But it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a cold weather situation in a 17B, and you don't hear about that too often. But so far, beautiful. The weather turned much prettier than I thought it was going to be there for a little bit. It's 60-something degrees, so hey, you can't beat that. And even though it started in the 30s today. So
anyway, come with us, and remember, if you like some of the stuff we do, then be sure to like and subscribe and share. We really appreciate that. Or comment. Oh, by the way, we've had somebody send us a product that they want us to test out, and we're going to do that at this state park and see how it works. It looks pretty interesting, and it looks like something maybe I should have bought years ago that I didn't realize kind of how important it is. So I hope you stick with us for that. Well, with that, hey, we're headed on down the road. We're going to be getting to this state park here in a few hours, and we're going to cook up some hamburgers. So let's have some fun in our RV, and why don't you come along with us?
On the way to Georgia and back, we stayed in Mississippi at LaFleur's Bluff State Park. This is a wonderful place to spend the night. We will have a complete video about this park as a state park review later on in our channel. Driving to Edenton, Georgia was pleasant and fairly uneventful. We spent 3 nights then mooch docking on our son's land. He's got a little ranch there with a full hookup. He had everything we needed right there. We got a little cold one night. We discovered that it's actually easier to manage the heater when it is colder rather than being just kind of cold, you know, like in the 50s. The temperature in the RV at, say, around 50 tended to be either too cold or too hot. With it just barely cold like that, Judy got up a couple of times, like on the first night, to adjust the temperature, turn it off, turn it back on, or something like that. All right, let's see. We met our daughter and son-in-law and the grandkids there in Georgia with our son, and a good time was had by all. After that, we headed back to the state park, for the last night. The most important thing we learned from this experience was that the 2022 Coleman17B was a little drafty. Okay, it was kind of moderately drafty. It was easy to find drafts, cold spots. It might be completely different with the new Jayco models, the 2025 models. In fact, I suspect it would be. But I personally will need to spend some time working on our 17B, covering up these gaps and covering up certain areas with some foam insulation, not insulation, I have no idea what that is, insulation of certain areas before I attempt a winter trip again. Also learned that the electric heater is plenty powerful enough. That's a 5200 BTU heater. Even with the drafts, it's a little bitty space. You can stay plenty warm. You really, really can. But I also believe that sealing up these drafty areas will actually help us in the summertime when we're trying to camp when it's really hot, because we already did that and that's not a lot of fun. At 105, 108 degrees, that little air conditioner has a hard time keeping that tin can cool, all right? So there it is. You can camp when it is at freezing in a Coleman17B. I wouldn't try it when it's like much below, like in the 20s or something like that, where it's going to be that way for any extended length of time. Well, that's it for our winter trip to Georgia here in 2024, and I look forward to trying it again. But like I said, I'm going to have to fix a few drafts and a couple other things that we discovered along the way. So check out the LaFleur Bluff State Park video that we're going to have up real soon. All right, see you guys down the road.